My inner child kind of threw a fit today, and I allowed her to play, and it felt so freaking good. And I kind of want to encourage you today to allow more play into your life. You know, sometimes we get so lost, and look, I understand, like, we all have responsibilities, right? We have to get to work, we have to do this, that, the other. If you have children, maybe you need to attend to your kids, take them to school, whatever the case, right? But you need attention too, right? Your inner child needs attention too. And even if it's like 5 minutes, right? Even if it means waking up a little earlier or something like that, if you can, you know? At the end of the day, it's really a matter of finding what works for you. But play is such an important part of life, especially as you're expanding, right? And leveling up. And I'll tell you a little story. What happened this morning is I woke up and I was like craving yoga for some reason. I was like, I just want to do yoga. I want to stretch. I want to get on my yoga mat. And I'm doing my morning routine. I'm brushing my teeth. I'm washing my face. And I'm starting to get a little bit frustrated, right? And I'm just doing my regular morning routine. Right? This is what I do every single morning. And as I was making my coffee, I heard a little voice in my head, right? My inner child. And the little voice goes, she starts throwing a tantrum, I'm telling you. She was like, I don't want to do this. I want yoga. And I was like, okay. So I put the portafilter down. I was like, coffee can wait. Maybe I don't need coffee right now, right? I guess I need yoga. And I pull out my yoga mat and I start to flow. And I'm stretching and it feels good. And, you know, I try my best to always listen to my inner voice and my desires and listen to my body and what it wants. But sometimes we get so lost in the routine, right? And like, this is what I do every morning. So of course I'm going to do this before I do the yoga, but maybe my body didn't need the coffee today. Maybe my body needed the yoga, right? And like, just a reminder that certain things can wait. When I was done with my yoga, my body felt so good. My mind felt clear. And then I was like, okay, now I am sitting here with my coffee, right? Recording this video, and I can have my little coffee now. I can do the rest of my morning routine or whatever. I don't know, maybe one of you also needed this reminder, right? Or some of you needed this reminder to allow play into your life. Allow yourself to listen to your body. Allow yourself to, like, if you want something, maybe go for it, right? Even if it's a 5-minute yoga flow, or even if it's, I don't know, playing a little game. Like the other day I was sitting here and I was working. I had worked all day that day. It was like a really long day, a lot of productivity, a lot going through my head. And I was like, I just want to relax. And then suddenly I got this itch. I was like, you remember that game Club Penguin? And I found out that, you know, it got shut down, but somebody brought it back. And it's called like Club Penguin Legacy or something like that. And I started playing Club Penguin. And it was fun. And I played for like a half hour or something like that. And I freaking loved it. And my inner child was just so happy, you know, to be playing this fun game that was nostalgic. It reminded me of my childhood. It reminded me of simpler times, I guess you could say, you know. And so allowing that play into your life and remembering that, like, there's still a little child inside you who wants to play at times. You know, there's still a little child inside of you who, and even if not, right, even if you don't think that there is a part of you who is still that inner child, like, adults want to play too, right? Like, grown-ups want to play too. I love play. I love experiencing play. I love going outside and running. I love doing cartwheels. I love going to the pool and splashing around. And allowing that freedom into your life, that play into your life, those just fun, lighter vibes into your life, especially during times when, you know, like I said at the beginning, we all have responsibilities, right? We have work. Some of us have children. We have responsibilities, adult things, right? We are adulting at this point, and it can be really easy to get lost in that and get lost in the, oh God, well, this is what I have to do. So that comes first. But the way I think about it is the same way if you don't allow yourself to rest and you feel like shit, right? If you don't allow yourself to play, to have moments of lightness, and I'm not saying that you have to do this 24/7. I'm not saying you have to do this every day, right? But there are times when if your body and your mind are really craving play, you need to allow it. And then after that, it becomes easier to move through your day and move through your responsibilities, right? I feel so much better now that I allowed myself that time to flow on the yoga mat. And I wonder if I hadn't, I'd be so frustrated right now, you know, and the energy would come out in this video. The energy would come out in my work. the energy might come out in, I don't know, maybe I raise my voice or something. Maybe I get frustrated at something that there's no need to get frustrated at, so that play and really just allowing that lightness back, right? We forget, people say, oh, kids are just so much happier. And maybe it's one of those things of like ignorance is bliss, right? They haven't experienced adult things. They haven't experienced adult problems, but I really don't even think that's what it is. Because on the days that I allow play into my life, on the days that I allow myself to be lighter, and I'm trying to do it more and more often, I'm trying to do it now at least once a day, right? And I know that kind of sounds structured, but I'm really trying to listen as much as possible. It's so funny how like the brain works, right? Like as a grown-up, at least for me, I'm even adding structure to play, right? Like at least once a day. Anyway, that's kind of besides the point, but let me know in the comments, how do you like to release? How do you like to play, right? What do you like to do? Do you like to go outside and do cartwheels on the grass, right? Do you like to do some yoga? Do you like to dance around your living room? Like what feels good? Do you like to paint or draw, right? I always like to think back as what did I like to do as a child? And I used to love watercolors, and I do have my watercolors here with me, and that I pull them out once in a while, and I just feel like being artistic, letting out my creativity. One thing for me, and thankfully I'm so grateful and I feel so blessed that I've had the mental capacity, I've had the passion and the drive to turn this into a career, because when I was younger, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to be a YouTuber. I wanted to create content. I love editing. I love talking to the camera. I love just being creative and expressing myself in this way through videography, or actually, I don't know if this counts as videography, but through content creation. And the fact that I get to do that now for a career, for a living, is something that I genuinely feel so freaking blessed, right? And I never take for granted just how lucky I am that is my life, right? That's what I've built. But at the same time, I've really put in the work and effort. I mean, I've worked for years to build this business while at the same time having a full-time job and going to college at one point, right? Full-time school, full-time job, running my business, like doing everything at once, still trying to take care of myself, still trying to take care of my home, right? So a lot of sacrifice over the years, sacrificing sleep and rest and play. And now I'm like, we made it, we made it. But even then, right? Like until recently, I still had a full-time job. And even then I was trying to find little pockets in the day to allow more freedom and lightness into my life, because it is necessary. It is as necessary as a good night's sleep. It is as necessary as rest, to just give your mind a break. And I'm not talking about scrolling mindlessly. I'm not talking about sitting there and watching Netflix and just slumping down on the couch, right? I'm not saying that you can't do that. Of course, I love watching movies. I love watching shows. I love watching YouTube videos and scrolling once in a while. But that's not what I mean by play, right? Like if you look at a child, I guess I don't know. You look at children now and they're just on their screens. But if you think of yourself as a child, let's put it that way, what did you enjoy doing? I mean, personally, I didn't like being on a screen. I liked cartoons and movies once in a while, but after a while I wanted to get up and play and dance and do puzzles and other things, right? So really thinking about what does your inner child desire? What does your inner child want? And listening to that urge, because sometimes the reason we find ourselves so frustrated and angry and overstimulated is because we're constantly taking in all this input. I made a video about this recently as well, like the day that I was feeling overstimulated, kind of how to get back into having a better day after having a bad morning. And it all comes down to this. It all comes down to listening to your body, what it needs, and usually it's output. We're taking in so much all the time that sometimes we need to release and play and do something lighthearted and fun. And so I want this to be a reminder today. Like somebody needed this reminder. Otherwise I wouldn't have felt so called to make this video. And if you're here and you're still listening, it's probably you. So let me know in the comments, what are you doing today to allow yourself to play? Just try to allow that. Just try to allow that. I'm here with you. I'm going through the journey myself, right? Of trying to allow myself to play without that much structure. If I want to do something, right? Trying to do it, even if it's for a little bit of time. So yeah, just a little reminder, allow yourself to play, allow more play into your life, and just see how it goes, right? Because for me personally, I mean, it's just made my days better and better. I'm feeling amazing today. So with that said, I'm Merlina Azul. If you're new to the channel and this resonated with you, I invite you to subscribe to the channel. I always feel so awkward, I'll be honest, doing like, subscribe to the channel, whatever, but I don't know. I guess it's just, maybe I'll stop doing it. Who knows? Anyway, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.